You're listening to the Murder Speaks podcast, the show that spills the tea about true crime. Here's your host, Wendy Hinbest.
Hey, welcome back to Murder Speaks. I hope everyone had a good holiday and a good new year. Happy New Year, people. Now that Christmas and New Year's are behind us, now it's back to normal life. I have 5 children and all my children are doing virtual school for the week. So today's real crime story is about 9-year-old Elizabeth Olten of St. Martins, Missouri. October 21st, 2009, 6-year-old Emma knocked on Elizabeth's door to see if Elizabeth can play. Emma was Elizabeth's neighbor. So Elizabeth was going to her neighbor's house, and she was supposed to be home at 9 p.m. So Elizabeth's mother calls her neighbor, and the neighbor tells her that Elizabeth was never there. So her mother calls Elizabeth's cell phone, but it keeps going straight to voicemail. Investigators call the cell phone company and order an emergency ping. The phone pings a few times, and it's coming from the woods. First, Emma tells police that after playing for about an hour, Elizabeth went home. But then Emma tells police she was stuck in some thorn bushes, and she calls her 15-year-old half-sister Alyssa for help. The police find out that Alyssa skipped school the day Elizabeth went missing. She tells police she doesn't know anything about Elizabeth's disappearance. But police search Alyssa's room, and they find disturbing drawings and sayings on the walls. And they also find a diary. The last entry is dated October 21st, the same day Elizabeth went missing. But it's scratched out in blue ink to cover up what was written. In the diary, they can make out 2 words, slit and throat. The police bring Alyssa in for questioning. She tells police what happened to Elizabeth. At first, she says it was an accident, that they were walking in the woods when Elizabeth fell and hit her head and died suddenly. The police ask Alyssa if Elizabeth's throat was cut, and she says yes. Finally, the truth comes out. She tells police that she sent her little sister Emma to knock on Elizabeth's door. Then she told Emma to go home, and she walked Elizabeth into the woods. While they're walking in the woods, she tells Elizabeth that there's something she needs to show her. And once they get there, Elizabeth begins to strangle her and stabbed her in the chest and cut her throat. Alyssa led the police to Elizabeth's body in the woods, and the autopsy confirmed cause of death. The police used a blue light to reveal the last entry in Elizabeth's diary. I just killed someone. I strangled them and slit their throat and stabbed them. Now they're dead. I don't know how to feel. ATM, which means at the moment. It was amazing. As soon as you get over the oh my god, I can't do this feeling, it's pretty enjoyable. I'm kinda nervous and shaky though right now. Kay, I gotta go to church now. LOL. It was obviously premeditated as she dug a grave for her. She wanted to know what it was like to kill. On her YouTube channel, she said her hobbies are cutting herself and killing people. This girl definitely sounds disturbed. She had a rough life growing up. Both of her parents were drug addicts, so her grandmother raised her. Alyssa struggled with depression and was treated for it. She had attempted to commit suicide.
Prior to October 2009, had you been treated for mental health problems?
Yes.
Do you recall when that started?
2007?
So for a couple of years?
Yes.
What kind of treatments did you receive?
After a suicide attempt, I was hospitalized and put on medication and was in intensive outpatient care with Pathways.
After you were arrested in October 2009, did you continue having psychological problems, symptoms?
Yes.
And what kind of symptoms were you having?
Depression, anxiety. In county, I was still cutting.
Cutting yourself?
Yes.
However, her having a rough life doesn't excuse the fact she committed murder. Alyssa was arrested and charged for the murder of Elizabeth Olten. And during the trial, Alyssa pleaded not guilty.
Well, if you understood that you would almost automatically be found guilty of first-degree murder, what did you understand that you would be facing?
Life without parole.
And was there any option other than that?
No.
If there had been a way for the jury to consider less time than life without parole, even if you were convicted of first-degree murder, let's say, would that have changed your thinking about pleading guilty?
Absolutely. Basically, the main reason for accepting the offer was to avoid the absolute certainty of life without parole. If there was another option, then there would have been no reason to have accepted that offer.
She was sentenced to 35 years with the possibility of parole because she appears to be mentally disturbed. This is a crazy, crazy story. I mean, as a mother, it freaks me out. It really does, because you think your kids are safe with their friends, and you know your kids have friends and they appear to be normal, but you just don't know. And this girl, she obviously had mental problems, and you know this was her neighbor. Elizabeth knew and trusted them. She knew and trusted her when she went into the woods with her, and Alyssa just took her life because she wanted to know what it was like to kill somebody. I mean, yeah, she's really disturbed, and yeah, she's exactly where she needs to be. In my opinion, it's not safe to have this girl in society. She needs to be locked up. If she's not in jail, she needs to be committed to a mental institution, but I don't think she should be free, because I believe she'll do it again. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this week's true crime story. If you like it, please share it. Sharing is caring. And if you are a true crime addict like me, check out my store at crystalkiss.com. That's Crystal with a K for some murder merch. Start killing it with Crystal Kiss murder merch. Join me again on Murder Speaks. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for listening. Bye.